New Zealand USD. Now we start with the daily chart. Okay, as you can see, based on the daily chart, still we are within this. Now the thing is, we don't have any new information, but again, as I mentioned in my last video, whether from here or if the price move higher, if we get the sell, we are more interested. What I can say here is that based on this, we can see the divergence and as well here, but it doesn't mean we will get the sell. I say if we get the sell setup, we are more interested in terms of the risk and reward. Even I explained in my last video why, and even I talk about this correction. My traders can refer to my last video. Okay, if we move to lower time frame, okay, based on lower time frame, when we compare these two, based on this, we can see the divergence and here as well. Okay, now the thing is, now the question is the first, whether this is the end of the move and the price, I mean, this is the only one and this one can drop, how deep it can go, whether this one can take this low, we are not sure based on the information we have, the indicators. And the another option is that how about this is the correction in relative to each other for the next move up. Okay, we will have both option. Now the thing is whether from here we need to look for buy or we can look for sell, how we can trade it. Based on forward chart, we don't have any information. If we move to lower time frame, we see how we can trade it. Okay, based on lower time frame, even if you refer back to my last video when the price was here, I mentioned that we can expect to get the correction. Here we get a correction similar to what we had here. Exactly we get. Okay, and even if I refer again to my last video, when the price was here, we see if you want to look for buy, the only way is to have entry above this. And as we can see, we didn't get the trade. Okay, now we want to see how we can trade and whether we should look for buy or sell. Okay, if we want to look for buy, in that case, we put this one in relative to this. That means this one will be a correction in relative to this. Then if we want to look for buy, we should look for buy within this range. And what we target, at least the price to break this top. Now the thing is whether from here we get the buy or the price move lower, we are not sure. Okay, how we can look for buy? If we want to look for buy, as I explained, on Aussie USD, we need to get the sharp move, a small correction before we take the buy, similar to what we have here. Whether we get similar to what we have here or we wait for the bigger one. Okay, what we want, if we want to look for buy any sharp, a small correction before we take the trade. Okay, that means if you want to look for buy, this is how we can look for buy, whether from here or if the price move lower. Okay, how about the sell? How about before we go for the second option? This is the end of this move, and now the price moving, I mean the moving down. If we want to look for sell, we need to get the correction. What we need, at least we get the proper correction, similar to what I'm drawing here. Then from there we can look for sell. And if you get any sell, we need to have a proper management. That means whether we call it this sell is a risky or we call it a short-term sell. That means if we get a sell, it depends how big is this correction. But if it's a bigger correction, better can give us a better trade. But if we get a sell, as long as we get into to the profit, we start to manage it. Okay. And how about if the price start to correct similar what I'm drawing here? Then I don't think we can get the sell or buy setup. Even the buy, it doesn't give us a good buy setup. But what we're expecting, at least we get the correction before we look for sell. Anyway, we don't have any trade setup. And in this case, we just follow the chart. If I see any update or any new information, then I will share you on YouTube. Thanks.